Hi everybody, Mark Cleghorn here. Welcome to another Talk Photography on the Academy. And again, it's one of our amazing model interviews. And today I'm going to be joined by Elegance, and she's going to chat with you. You can see Elegance there now, or as she's now known as Minecraft Gamer 27. We'll get to you in a minute, I promise. Thank you. Guys, if you haven't actually watched one of the Talk Photographies before, you can kind of watch them all on our membership site of the Photographer Academy, and you can basically also kind of catch up with them on our YouTube channel as well and things. Really, remember, you can join to the Photographer Academy for as little as £100 for the whole year, where you get access to all the new stuff, all the old stuff, plus great stuff. Go and have a little look yourself. We don't do any hard selling, as you've gathered by now, I'm sure. But it's all about the love of photography. And talking about the love of photography, Elle, why have we never worked together?
I don't know. This is crazy. You live just up the road. It's got to happen now. It's got to happen.
Yeah, you're only up the road as well, which is not honest, not fair.
No.
Elle, Elegance, I should say. Thank you. Let's talk about you, and let's talk about modeling, and let's talk about everything. Before we start to look at images, how did you first get involved in modeling, and then how did you get involved with PurplePort and so on?
Okay, cool. So when I was 15, my dad moved to South Africa, and when I went there for the first time, I went there for a very long time. I went there for 3 months, and when I was there, he needed to find things for me to do, and one of the things that he put me in for was catwalk modeling. And I'm too small, but it was a very cool course. So I learned how to walk down the catwalk. I learned how to do makeup, and it was just a really cool experience. So my dad always really wanted me to be a model. So I kind of made his dream come true, I guess. Then when I came back from that holiday, I just carried on with my life, and I basically was really into drama, and I excelled at drama. So I went to college, and then I went to university doing drama. And then through that, I started to become an actress. So I went down the path of doing films and things like that, and I became a professional actress. So I'm with Spotlight, I'm with Equity, and so that was running. Then I realized that it's hard to make a living as an actress. So I then needed to get a job that actually was going to support me. Then I got married, had children, and I went actually off the path. Then I got back into it after having children, and then I went for it. And then I was in a little tiny part in Johnny English 3, which was quite cool. And then I went to somebody had a photography session, just for herself. And she was like, oh, do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. That sounds fun. And she was like, oh, you should do this. And I was like, really? I'm probably too old, And she was like, oh, nonsense. So I was like, should I do that? And then I went to London, and I got a portfolio, got totally ripped off by some terrible, I didn't know anything about anything, and I'm afraid I totally fell for it. I went with one of those pop-up companies, spent £600 on absolute rubbish. But they did introduce me to Model Mayhem, if I can say that, and then I met a photographer on there who I worked with, and then he introduced me to PurplePort, and the rest is history. So I'm just working on PurplePort now, and I've got a strong presence on Instagram and stuff like that. I'm still acting, but because I've got children, I just do murder mysteries and stupid stuff like that, basically. So
brilliant. We've got no affinity to PurplePort at all, so we can talk about kind of thing. What's your thoughts in the difference between Model Mayhem and PurplePort? I haven't asked that question to a model before. Do you see them as two different types of photographer and models and everything else with it, or what do you see them as?
I was only on Model Mayhem for a very short amount of time. So I went on to Model Mayhem, and there was one guy that wanted to shoot in Kent, and I said it was going to be a TF, and I just said, is there any chance of us going half on the petrol to go for me to go down, because it was literally 4 hours drive, so it was going to be 8 hours in total. and he was offended by that, and I wasn't sure whether that was fair. Anyway, so then I met another photographer, and then I worked with him, and then I met another photographer. Am I allowed to say names on here?
You can do anything you want. Yeah. It's your session.
So I met somebody called Rob Golding, and he then was like, oh, you need to get yourself on PurplePort. And then they were like, Model Mayhem's like rubbish, like don't be on there. So I just closed all that down, and then I started having like, you know, photo shoots with people from PurplePort.
Yeah, Model Mayhem seemed to be the name of yesteryear, and it got kind of populated with a certain type of model and a certain type of photographer. And PurplePort seems to have become a bit of a, if anything, can be a safe place for models and photographers to kind of communicate and kind of work. I would say that it is, in UK at least, kind of thing. There's different ones all over Europe as well, isn't there? Yeah, it seems a good connection. Things. How did you start to decide on what you were gonna do and what you weren't gonna do as a model? Because as an actress, you're making those decisions in the same breath, isn't it? And whatever you do as a model could affect you as an actress as well, isn't it? How did you kind of cross those roads?
So on all of my acting sites and everything like that, I'd already decided that I'd be okay with being naked on film. So like I'd already made those decisions about like being an actress on that level. So when I started being a model to begin with, obviously I needed to be a bit careful about what I was doing. So I didn't do that to begin with because I didn't really know anyone. I did feel the safety of PurplePort because you can look at people's references and stuff like that. So if you communicate with a photographer on there, you can look at all their references and then you can decide on what you want to do. So I didn't really get my kit off, so to speak, like for a while. And then I only chose, I think I actually like worked with somebody a good few times, and then I sort of like, then I felt comfortable enough to do it with that particular photographer, and then I started making some nice art with him, and then that then attracted like better photographers or different types of photographers who were talented. And then like when I had a relationship with them, a working relationship, then I could, you know, feel comfortable with that as well. It is useful having the references on PurplePort because you can contact models to see if they're safe. And I always contact about 3 to 5 models, and I collect all their references. Like I get a new reference from them because you can leave a reference and then change your mind, can't you? So I always write to the models again, and I take a pic from all down, like early ones, medium, and then nearer ones as well.
How was the work acceptancy rate change for you? You know, because obviously in the early days, we all just take anything that comes along, isn't it? And obviously the kind of the more mature and the more kind of confident we are, we get a little bit more kind of picky in things. How was that change for you?
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, that's right. I think that when you first go into modeling, you don't actually quite know what's good and bad. I think that you don't actually understand. So you can work with people that maybe there's a lot of very talented people as you go forward, and you start to realize who is talented and who is not, and who maybe have picked up a camera and they're just trying to meet a model as well. That's happened to me. You can really feel that if you make that type of mistake.
Yeah, I mean, the advice to any model, if she doesn't feel good, just walk out. The worst you've lost is a day of your time and basically a bit of cash, isn't it? You know, but never hang around for the sake of it. It's never worth it.
No.
So I'm way in my 60s, and you're at the beginning of your 40s. I can say that because it's on your PurplePort, right?
Yeah.
I'm
43 years old. I'm old. I'm having some skincare done tomorrow. I've spent £1.5 on my face, so I'm actually having my face done tomorrow.
Think of the experience you've got, though. You've got kids. You're an actress and everything else with it. You know, if I'm a 19-year-old model going in today, I'm going to want a little bit of your experience under my belt. So don't knock it at all. How is it in the world of a slightly older model?
I think that we think that we're younger than we are. So like, I don't know whether that happens to you, but like, I sometimes think, oh yeah, I'm really young. And then I look at the picture, I'm like, oh my God, I'm really old because of the wrinkles and stuff like that. But I think that as long as you're careful with your age and you dress appropriately for your age, it's a little bit like in real life. You wouldn't want to wear like a leather skirt necessarily because you might be mutton dressed as lamb sort of thing. Like you've got to be careful, haven't you? So unless you're going to be like Madonna and like fully embrace, you know. But I feel like as I get older, I try and accept my age. I try and accept who I am. I try, even though I'm having work done, I'm not having fillers or any like actual facelifts. I'm just having very natural like dermatology needles to see if that can just like smooth these lines. But I try and accept who I am. I try and accept my body weight. I try and accept my age, and I try and dress appropriately for who I am. I also think about my modeling type. There are some modeling things that I have done in the past which I probably wouldn't do now because I feel that I'm probably getting too old for that, like wearing harnesses or like being in a dungeon or something like that. I'm not sure as I get older whether I can go to a dungeon anymore. I'm not sure. So there's things that I personally weigh up whether I want to do that with my age or what I want to do with my own modeling style.
Before I saw the last gig, we were chatting before we went live, but before I saw the last gig, I came across a model and we shot with her, and she was in her mid-60s and she was still photographing as art nude, and she was amazing.
Oh, good.
And it's that proof of, you know, as long as you feel good in yourself and people know that the images in front of them are current images, that's what they're booking, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's like in the same way that you're researching the photographer, a good photographer is going to research his model and basically make sure before they make a booking that you understand the kind of the levels that you do, because obviously we need to talk about levels at some stage, and some levels I think when we get older in life are actually easier to do than when we're a younger model. I see that quite a lot, in fact. Models that I photographed in their beginning, you know, I won't say who she is, but there was a model that I shot in, was it 2002? She was a young 18-year-old, said, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. I was like, no, stick to your lane, all right? Stick to what you're saying. Okay. Nope, she does everything nowadays. Again, it's okay, you know. It's she's 20 years on and she's made a decision of what she does and she makes a good living from it. It's all about picking your lane, isn't it? So how has it changed for you in the kind of the styles of shoot that you kind of really look forward to now, or you're kind of looking forward to, like, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. As far as, you know, figure shoots and nude shoots and boudoir shoots, do you feel more comfortable today than you would have done 20 years ago?
Yes, definitely. Like, yeah, I think there's actually more insecurity for me when I was younger, weirdly. Like, even though my body may have been in a better, I don't know. I mean, it depends on your body, I suppose. But like mentally speaking, emotionally speaking, I think I probably do better as an older person because you've lived your life a bit and you're willing to accept yourself. And about modeling, I accept myself fully. I know that you follow me on Instagram. And I do release quite a few videos of me with no makeup on, nothing at all. Because like you said, you need to show people who you are. So I have got makeup on and I've got hair extensions in right now for this, but I haven't got my eyelashes on. I've actually got an allergic reaction going on with my makeup at the moment. So I didn't want to just scare everybody on your podcast. Yeah, so I try to present myself as real sometimes on my Instagram and go, this is what you're going to buy. You know, I can't do that on PurplePort because you can, but it's normally an edited picture, isn't it, really? Yeah. But on my Instagram, I do present as a real person sometimes, and I present real. So yeah, and I think that's important, really, because I never use filters on my real my real videos as well. So if somebody watches a video of me on Instagram, that will be me, apart from maybe the Paris filter. But that's as far as it goes. And yeah, my modeling style, like you just said, I feel that with the 9 years experience that I've had on PurplePort, is that I have realized that I'm better in certain fields, and I gravitate towards that, even though I am, I would say I'm quite versatile, but I do realize that I'm probably good at lifestyle the best.
See, I loved you. I contacted you because of the Batman in the bathroom series. And if it's not called Batman in the bathroom, it needs to be called Batman in the bathroom. You were referring to it to Batman. We were choosing images before. I was like, what Batman series is she on about that? Because I hope she's going to pick the bathroom ones. And but yeah, I just
oh, that's so cool.
I think it's kind of a bit of a modeling is a bit of a dress up, isn't it? Really, and kind of, or I think it is, you know. And it's great when you get to put things together when you're in true collaboration with a model and a model works with a photographer. You both get a big kick out of it when you just know and feel that it is really, this is good.
Yeah.
And it might only come at the end of the day, and it might come right at the beginning of the day. Whenever it happens, you just want it to feel this is really being worth all the kind of the effort that we've made today.
Oh, it's just the best feeling ever, isn't it? And yeah, the collaboration, when I worked with Mike recently, Mike J Photography, the collaboration on that was unbelievable. The one with me with my makeup on, I think you might like that one, but that was the most amazing group shoot that I've ever done. The makeup artist, the photographer, the studio owner, oh, the space, the equipment, that was absolutely incredible. Like, that really was amazing. And then other times when you do something a bit strange, like you pull different weird poses, and it's quite hard to get it right, and then you need to have the trust between you and the photographer to keep doing it until you get the shot, you know, because you know, you release a picture and you're like, oh my god, it's amazing, but how many did it take to get that one? You know, and you're like, oh, my finger's not quite in place, can we take it again, can we restart, can we go back to the beginning, a little bit like acting, can we do it again, can we do it again? And you know,
I've let me just we're going to start to look at some images. Let me just kind of pull the PurplePort up page ready. Before we get there, what was I going to say? As far as being an actress is concerned, because I've always thought I've always had the best experiences with models when they're either actors or dancers. Okay?
I hear that, yeah, I hear that.
Even in all walks of life, there's a different mentality than just somebody who sets out to be a model. And because I'm quite demanding as a photographer, I'm okay to say that. I like to not control, but I like to at least achieve what we're setting out quickly. Then we can let it run. Then we can have a little bit of fun and everything else. And you usually find that an actor or a dancer takes that kind of instruction initially and they get it. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's develop it from there. Do you think being an actress has helped the modeling for you?
I hear that all the time. So I guess so. I mean, when, like you said to me earlier on, it's like dress up. So, I mean, I'm a woman anyway, so you always dress up with your friends. But there's also, if you're an actress, there's also a part of you that maybe uses acting as escapism or traveling into another person or experiencing life from a different place. Whenever I do modeling, I often say, oh, she could be over there and she could be doing this and she could do that and the other. And I wear wigs a lot in my work. I've got so many wigs. I think I've got like 74 wigs. This is obviously like, you know, a hairpiece. But I've got so many wigs, and it's like, I never say I could do this really, or I can do that. I always have dissociated and put my character into, she could do that, she could do this. So that's interesting. I haven't really thought about that before. Yeah, I'm normally displaying a character in the pieces of work that I do.
Are your kids into drama or acting, or did you see them going into modeling at all? Or
I tried to get my son into acting, and I put him into acting class, and no, he wasn't up for it. But he is extremely good looking. Well, I think he is anyway. So I might try and press him. But yeah, no, I mean, he's, he rejected the acting thing, unfortunately. But maybe he's a good looking chap. So they both like their picture being taken. So
Excellent.
Yeah, hopefully we can, get that going on.
Yeah, very cool. Very good. Right. So let's start to take a look at some images anyway. We quickly had a look through your PurplePort and chose a few images, but I've got to say, guys, if you want to go across to Elegance's page to actually see it, it's /Elle model, you'll get there. And there's obviously links on here, as well as a kind of the link to an Instagram page. But the amount of images on here, it's, I think for a photographer who's looking for a bit of inspiration, I think you bring it. I think you've got such a diversity to your images on PP that it really... I'll just go on that one a minute. I didn't mean that one. But you have such a versatility. I think if there was a photographer looking for a little bit of what shall I do tomorrow, I think they could hit your page and go, there's a few cool ideas here to kind of use as an inspiration and everything else with it and things, really. How do you go about selecting the images that you post onto your page?
Okay, so if I get shown the back of the camera and I have some kind of ability to do a TF and then select pictures with somebody, I normally don't choose lots and lots. I'll try and choose the best one of so I can be quite pernickety in the sense that, my hand wasn't quite right there, or so funnily enough, actually, at the beginning of my modeling, I used to just release everything. And then and I don't know whether that's a thing for photographers as well, but you just release everything because, I haven't posted for a while, and then you end up sort of getting a bit I've moved on from that. But now I only really release pictures where I'm really super proud of it. And funnily enough, doing that, then you actually attract a different type of photographer as well. Do you know what I mean? It's
I do.
So you have to be prepared to release the pictures that you want that type of photographer to come to you. So for example, I don't do anything too explicit because I don't want to, but I don't know, let's just say for some crazy reason I did one picture that was explicit, which isn't going to happen, but let's just say I did. If I release that, then all of the photographers who do that would then come. So I need to be careful that I don't release things that I'm not prepared to be asked for. Again,
I think a few models make that mistake. In fact, they've gone, because of the way the shoot's gone, and they love an image, all of a sudden they post it. I think typically it's when they don't have nude, because I still think we're missing some categories on PP, to be honest, to kind of differentiate between the difference between nude and erotic and all that kind of thing with it. Anyway, but I think when a model hasn't got nude or sheer on her, what she does, but then she actually shows an image, I think that confuses the whole thing, and it doesn't help. I don't think it helps her in her bookings, because she'd be fighting off inquiries for something that she doesn't want to do and everything else with it and things. But look, we're going to have a look at an image, but before we go on to an image, I'm just going to say that there's not many models you come across that you could book for a shoot and you could get everything from lifestyle through makeup through to fine art nude. Okay, so that's something you really need to celebrate, because not everybody can bring that, and that's the actress in you, or actor we're supposed to say now, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, I always get these things wrong. Anyway, coffee time. So these are some images that you've chosen anyway. How recent is this? Because this is a real lifestyle image, isn't it?
Like last week.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
I can probably do it right now. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like I think it was like a week ago. Yeah.
And do you enjoy this kind of shoot?
That was really fun. So we'd done the shoot at my house, and then he was like, "Oh, do you mind if we just go to the cafe and just sort that out?" And it was fun, because then it started getting a bit silly. I was licking the spoon and just being really stupid. It just turned all a bit silly at the end, but we were friends by then, so it was fine. Yeah, so that was really great, and we had such a good time, and we're going to book another shoot really soon, actually, because it was just laughed so much. It was such a good shoot. Yeah,
it's great when you have a relationship, though, isn't it? That you just know that boundaries come down a little bit. You both feel safe with each other, because I think a photographer's got to feel safe as well.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's just not about model safety. It also is about photographer safety as well. And they've got to feel okay in their space and things, because, you know, not everybody says the right thing, and they're not saying the wrong thing to be rude or to kind of say the wrong thing. They're just nervous or excited, or, you know, and they're just going with a flow. Not everybody can say what Austin Powers says. Can they? You know, and basically the tone of language, you know what I'm on about.
Yes, I do. Yeah, sorry, I just like totally connected to that a little bit later than I should have done. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, you know, you just think, what did you just say? You're going, I'll just let it go for this one, but kind of thing.
You're a tiger. You're a tiger.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's a few who still use it anyway. As far as booking's concerned, you mentioned about booking. How far advanced do you usually get booked up? Is it kind of weeks or months or?
Months. So to be honest with you, my availability is really shocking. So people who are watching this who know me, they'll be like, I hope she doesn't say she's got good availability, because my availability is shocking. I've got 2 children, and I've got a job as well. You know, this is I am actually I say a part-time model. It's probably 3/4 model, because I do it as much as I possibly can. But it's normally kind of like weekends, 3 separate shoots sometimes, and it's just crazy. But it can be I book up to about 6 months, maybe even 7 months sometimes, because can't do that. Oh yeah, we can do that. So yeah, it can be really far in advance. Yeah,
they shouldn't be afraid of contacting you in case of late availability anyway, though, should they? And you never know when something's being rearranged or something.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I
should probably keep my calendar up to date, actually. That is something that I don't do very well.
Yeah. So this kind of image, when you booked, was this the first time you worked with this photographer?
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the process for you in kind of agreeing a booking? They get in touch via PurplePort. What's the procedure in place for you then?
Okay, so I would basically, this is a guy called Stretchy. So me and Stretchy have been trying to work together for about 3 years. You know how that happens sometimes? You sort of love each other's work and then you don't. So there was kind of failed attempts before, and then we managed to then get there in the end. So, but people would contact me through PurplePort. I would receive their message, read it. Mostly I would look at their portfolio first. Then I would read the message, because I would have to make a decision about whether I want to work with them from their previous work, I think. Because you want to be on the right portfolio. If somebody's doing like explicit work, you don't really want your face on there if you don't want to do that, I don't think. So there's a decision like that, and then they contact, and then then it's a decision through whether it's going to be TF or whether it's going to be a paid shoot. Normally a TF would be if it's kind of a balance of talent, I would say, or somebody's more talented than the other, then it's quite cool. But if it's a TF, I would say that, it's a balance of you're then collaborating and then making art together. The paid shoots I find is when somebody is still trying to level up. So they try to book somebody who they think is of higher level than them, and they're trying to bring their level up. Yeah. So and then that happens, and then I check all of their references. So I will then contact all of their models sporadically and get returns from the model directly.
Very good. Makeup wise, I'm going to move on to the next image, but we'll chat as we go. makeup wise, is this something that you bring from, you know, you said about in South Africa where you were doing the modeling and everything else? Does it kind of all stem from there? Do you usually do your own hair and makeup, or it just happens to be we're going on to a kind of a Bowie-esque kind of image? But have you done this makeup yourself, or has somebody else done this for you?
No. This is a very talented makeup artist. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is definitely not my work at all.
So if we were reflecting back onto the other image, I've shut it down now so we can't see it. But would that have been your own hair and makeup on that shoot and things? Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I love wigs, and I love doing my makeup. So I wouldn't say that I'm like a massively talented makeup artist or anything like that, but I'm good enough to be able to present myself in a good way for photography. I learnt on like that course that I told you about that it's thick, you know. Also, when I got ripped off of that company that I told you about, I also learned about photography makeup when I was talking to the apparently makeup artist there, if she was real. But like, you know, it's like very, unless you're doing a piece of art which doesn't need it, then photography makeup would need to be quite. I've noticed that if you do a huge wing, it kind of reduces in size in the picture. You know, you could have a massive wing made of mascara or eyeliner, and then it doesn't really transfer. So you have to really go for it, in my opinion. Yeah.
So what's the story behind this one then? Is it a collaboration between you and another photographer? Is it designed beforehand? Did you know what this was going to be involved?
So this one is a collaboration between makeup artist and then photographer and then me. We all came in my opinion, at a totally balanced. It was probably my favorite group shoot that I've ever done in my entire life. It was absolutely amazing. I cannot tell you how amazing the team was. I feel like we all had balanced skills. I came in as the model, and I feel like I did my thing well. And the makeup artist was extremely talented, and the photographer is extremely talented, and even the studio manager was extremely attentive to cups of tea, shower that available, studio itself, whether the temperature was right, helping with all of the lighting and props. It was incredible. So it was a collaboration.
Oh, brilliant. I noticed on your site that you've got a few art class kind of life modeling. Is that something that you're doing quite a bit of now, or is that something in the past? Or
yeah, I'm a life art model. I'm a paid. Yeah, I do life art modeling, and I have done for 4 years plus, I think. So I have they're like 60, 70-year-old lovely people. And they draw my picture.
Don't knock it. I'm in that category.
Sorry,
okay.
They're young. But they're just lovely people. And sometimes I go to a class on a Thursday and keep my clothes on, and then on a Tuesday I take my clothes off and I have life art class. So and I've been employed with the art college for probably more than 4 years plus. Yeah, actually probably 4 to 6 years. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But I absolutely love that. And I change my pose every 7 minutes. And I just love it. I just really love that.
I actually did it in my A-level year. I actually, because I was not as a model. I'm on.
I just had images then straight away.
No, honestly, the closest thing I'd be to a model is a maternity model because I've got a very big belly. Yeah, I actually needed, I've said this before online, but I needed more art to go to art college because my photography was dominating it. And basically I had special permission from the school and my parents to go to a life class. Oh. And that is in fact where I discovered nude for the very first time. I'd shot lots of models and lots of kind of pretty young girls and pretty young boys in school, and friends and my sister's friends and everything else with it, but I'd never come across the nude. And the quick change poses, in fact, much quicker than 7 minutes. They were about a minute sketch.
Yeah.
And had like the half-hour one at the end of each class. I think it teaches you a lot to analyze the body, in fact. A bit like when you're trying to repose or help the animation of a body in a photograph. You kind of do the scan, you go stretch more, fingers out, roll the hand, you know, straighten the toe. It kind of goes instantly into focusing in on that kind of thing with it, you know. But heads up, yeah, very well done, because I mean the world needs life models.
Yeah, I love
a
it.
lot more
And
of them.
there's a guy we haven't done live class together, but there's another model there called Colin, and I think he's like well into his 70s, and he was like, when I decided, because the way that I got the job, just quickly, is I wanted to have I've got a really large tattoo on my back, and I really wanted somebody to draw a picture of it, and I wanted to put it on my wall. So I went to the art class, and I just introduced myself, and I was like, oh, I really want an artist to do this. And he was like, you can keep your clothes on, but you can come and have a job. And I was like, it's fantastic. Yeah, I just got a job from like walking into this place. It took about like, I don't know, maybe 2.5 years for me to actually get my kit off. Like, it was my idea, like I wanted to do it. And then, yeah, then he started selling the live class. And then Colin turned round and he was like, is Ross getting her kit off? And he was like, I want to get my kit off. So this is a 75-year-old getting his kit off, and he's just loving it. The freedom is amazing. And there's a woman, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
There's a woman called Skyclad Pixie who works on PurplePort, and I've got so much respect for that woman. She's a mature model, and she just gets her kit off, and my goodness, has she got a good body. Like, if anybody's worried about getting older and being a model, you need to follow her. She is just amazing, and she life art models, and she accepts her body, and she's going into forests, and I just think she's great.
The creative expression of nakedness really does give you a confidence beyond anybody could experience, I think. I know you've got to find your place to be able to want to do it in the first place. Whether you're walking down a beach and you're naked in Canary Islands, do you know what I mean, or you're in an art class, I think there's an elevation of confidence and a self-belief as well with it and things. And I think the photographers, when they kind of click with the model, they get it as well. They get that they've got an opportunity to help this person celebrate themselves as well as take great images. And it's a real great collaboration. I'm speaking from my point of view as well, you know, but anyway.
Yeah.
The image about the kick. So what's the image about? Who shot this? Where do you do it?
Okay, so this is a studio shoot, and it was basically suits, basically. So I took all of my kind of posh suits and poshed it up. And I was standing there and I was doing kind of like normal poses in your suit and everything. And then I just thought it'd be really cool to like do a kick, you know. So I started kicking and everything. And then it was really cool, this particular capture, because I was doing some BTS at the time. I was running my phone, and I was running my phone. And you can see, you'll know this as a photographer, but like we did the kick and the shot, and we just knew we'd got it. You know, that moment where you're like, oh, got it, you know, and we came together. And even in the BTS, we look at the back of the camera and we're like, nailed it. And I got an FPI for that, which is the award system on PurplePort.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
That woman in the bathroom. Okay, so I'm going to refer to it as, absolutely love this series of images and things. Really, what's the story behind this?
So Eddie Chang, he is he's mad. So he always likes to sort of do out there stuff, and I guess his influence on me makes me try new things as well. And I knew that he'd like the Batman mask, and I just nicked it off my kids. And I just took it to the shoot with me, and I was like, I've got this, what do you reckon? And he was like, absolutely, get yourself in the bathroom. And yeah, so, and then obviously then we put a wide angle on a lens on, and then just made it try and make it look a bit weird. But surrealism is like my favorite subject. Like I did when I was at university, a lot of my work at university at drama, like school, if you want to call it that, was surrealism. I love surrealism. So if somebody's up for something very strange, I'm normally up for that. because I like that.
Do you feel too exposed at times?
So I've worked with Eddie many times. I think I've known Eddie for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time that I shot something that could have been, he needed to keep me decent in this picture, but we'd worked together for years. So I felt comfortable to be able to pose like this and trust that he was going to keep me decent.
Yeah.
I've had a situation where somebody took my picture when I was going into a handstand, and I heard it click, and I'm glad that the clicker noise was on, because he clicked it and I thought, you've just taken my picture, as I get into a naked handstand. And I said to him, let me see the back of the camera. And he took an extremely long time to like show me. And then when I did see it, I said, how do you delete it? And then he took an extremely long time to delete it. And that was the end of that relationship.
Oh, sad, isn't it? Because it's only a move of a knee that keeps you confident with the photographer, isn't it? You can soon, even in this pose here, a slight movement of the left knee, and then all of a sudden you've exposed yourself fully, and you've got to have that trust in each other, haven't you?
Hugely.
No matter what, accidents have happened, but that honesty, as you said, to just kind of get rid of it is key. I don't actually like to delete anything on camera. I'll delete it afterwards without any trouble. But there's also, you don't even need to take it. It's kind of moving that position and so on. Is the key thing,
I agree with you.
Yeah. No, I agree. Love that image though. We're very well done. And that's one of the, there's loads of images actually on your PurplePort that are kind of in this esque in the bathroom, which I absolutely love and things really. So you chose this image, which is very beautiful. It's so elegant.
Thanks.
What makes you feel empowered here?
Oh, I feel like a sphinx in this picture. I love this picture. I love the coloration of the light. I love the light. I love the shadow. I like the pose. I like my wig. I love everything about it. And it's obvious this is the kind of stuff that I do at life class, So like this is, I enjoy setting up the picture. It's just it's a very feminine thing. So that I really enjoy this picture. Yeah.
I think every woman in their life needs to have this photograph done. Because it is it's the total implied what?
How old are you? 52. Have you had the photograph done yet?
Well, it's just, with all the boudoir photography that we used to do for I say real women, but you know what I mean by that, clients booking us and everything else with it. The implied, if they were going to do implied, this is the pose for it. And often the faceless image of the implied is what we used to shoot with this, where they're just dropping the head or turning the head away. But I think this is one of the most beautiful, elegant poses that a model or anybody can actually really get onto. It's not so successful with men unless you're trying to bring a feminine kind of pose into it, but I absolutely love it. And everything's covered, isn't it? Exactly. But once more, a drop of an elbow, a move of the foot underneath the bottom just an inch or two, and then all of a sudden you're beginning to feel a little bit more exposed and everything else with it. And so it does take a little bit of control to actually get the perfect position in. But I absolutely love that image and love the expression with it as well and things. Let's talk about this image. Your makeup, somebody else's?
I did this makeup. Yeah. I really enjoyed doing this makeup. There was a lot of makeup on my face. I used like things against my face to cut the
edge in,
the edge in there, and so I basically bought that very strange outfit, and I just really wanted to make myself look like a doll,
mannequin kind of thing.
It
looks good.
A mannequin, a robot. I've got a thing about being a robot. I don't know what the fascination is. AI, robot. I think I've analysed this quite a few times. I think there's something about being dissociated. I love it. So if anybody's got a robot idea, I'm normally up for that. I don't know. Maybe I need to go to a psychiatrist to figure that out. But yeah. So this was a kind of an AI doll kind of person. Yeah. See, there I did it there. Did you see how I dissociated from it?
Yeah.
She's not me. Yeah, that's not me. That's someone else. Yeah, there you go.
This is the first time that we've ever chatted and things. And you're bubbly. You're full of life and everything else. How do you go into kind of model mode as you walk onto set? Is that the actress in you again, or what is it?
Definitely. When I go to a photo shoot, my first priority is to have a good time. It's extremely important to me to make a rapport with the photographer. Sometimes I will go to a shoot and the photographer is very, very nervous, almost to the point where they can't communicate with me properly. It's quite weird. And so I feel that, and then I will just like talk to them and just I'm good at talking to people, you know, I find it quite easy, but I will make sure that the day is really fun. So that's my first thing. And also I've noticed that if I do that anyway, the pictures are better anyway, because both of us then can relax and get into the picture, which I'm sure you know about anyway. You know, if you're working with someone that you haven't got a good rapport with, you can normally see it in the pictures anyway. You know, God knows what my pictures look like when that guy took my picture when I went into the handstand, because I lost trust with him instantaneously. So, you know, so my first it's always got to be a really good day, because we're both spending an amount of time with each other. So that's a high priority for me. And then, of course, whatever we've decided to make, I put in so much effort. Like, we had a 1950s shoot booked recently, and the effort that I went to, oh my goodness, I went to so much effort, so much planning. And then there was vandalism at the station and it was called off. But that was a huge amount of planning for months, and then it got cancelled. So yeah, but I mean, it was fun putting the stuff together, but yeah, if I had gone to that group shoot, it was a lot of photographers going, and I would have made sure that they all had fun. Like, that would have been my first priority, apart from obviously making sure that I was perfect as well.
What's the story behind this image?
So that's actually on the same shoot day as Batman.
Batman, yeah.
Yeah, so I've actually got my feet on the bathroom. So like just in that other room, that's where I did the Batman. And so in this hotel room, that was another one that we did there. And I just particularly love this one. Again, it has been darkened for me, because in a light state, you would not be able to present this photo.
Yeah. If you're working with a new photographer for the first time, but they're kind of, and they might be nervous because it might be kind of, you know, new to their kind of what they're doing, and they've kind of storyboarded these kind of images to you in advance. Are you okay with that kind of thing then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they send me the storyboards and I look at them loosely to see what they want. A lot of the time when we go there, unless there's a specific image that we're actually copying, that sometimes the photographer wants to copy, I know that a lot of the time that the energy will change the shoot anyway, and then it goes off and does something else. So, you know, but yeah, they send me mood boards and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Very good. Do you travel quite a lot for the shoots now, or are you able to keep it quite close to home?
I like to travel. I'm really keen on traveling, so I'm very up for traveling quite far, because I really enjoy seeing a part of the country that I've not seen before. I don't have any issues with traveling at all, as long as I've got the availability for it. Then I would not, if it's really far away, I would then make a holiday of it, probably with my boyfriend. So I would be like, I'd get a hotel with my boyfriend, and then I'd leave him somewhere, and then I'd go and shoot with, and then so there's like a really cool holiday linked to a shoot. So Kent, for example, I managed to go and stay with my mum, and then I had this lovely time with my mum, you know, so like, which is great. So you can, I love traveling. I have no issue with traveling at all.
Mind me asking about, how does he or she feel about your nudity shoots and things? Really, are they okay with it?
Okay, so I met my boyfriend when I was a model, and it was basically a deal breaker if he wasn't up for it, because I've been married and he didn't like it, and it wasn't the reason why my marriage failed, but it was part of it, because that's who I am and I wanted to do it. And I meet a lot of photographers who are at work when we're working together. There's a lot of photographers who are lying to their spouses about where they are. I hear that all the time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. So they've got their aliases or whatever, and yeah, so I hear it all the time. So when I met my boyfriend, it was, you know, I knew in my heart that it would be a deal breaker, because that's what I did, and I can't not be who I am at 43 years old. But I've managed to get him to be a photographer, and the picture that you saw was him. So the one with the Sphinx, that's my boyfriend. That's my
okay, very cool.
So I got him into it, so it's fine. He's shooting naked women all the time. We love it. It's fine. So he's like, look at these boobs, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Back to our image. I love this shot.
Yeah, I got an award for this one as well. This is really cool, isn't it? Yeah.
You want to know something? I shot a bride almost in exactly the same thing as this.
No way.
Going back to the 80s. I didn't get a friggin' award for it. But yeah, absolutely. And on her wedding day as well.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely good. I love this shot though. And you picking this image tonight has basically inspired me. I've got to shoot this again, because I've only ever shot in that boat, I think once. No, I've definitely done it once with the bride. I don't think I've shot it with a model, which is, yeah, gutting now. Love it. So very well done. You've inspired me tonight on things really. Anything you won't do, as far not nudity or explicitness or anything, but is there anything that you go, don't do heights, don't do fruit, or don't do, I don't know, what do you not do kind of thing?
No, I'm definitely doing fruit, because I've got that booked in with Stretchy, and there's a chicken pie involved as well.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah. So is there anything that I wouldn't do? I'm not very into I'm not very good at what's the genre called when they've got their like lingerie on and they're really giving it? What's that genre called?
More like glamour, isn't it?
Glamour.
I'm
terrible at glamour. I went to Calendar Girls. Is it Calendar Girls up in Bristol? And I left after an hour because they were going to do the calendar. So we went in there, and all the girls were going to, and I had all my lingerie, and I was just walking around with all these women, and I thought, this isn't me. I need to get out of here. And it was just really awkward. And the man was like, oh, you know, why are you going? And I was like, I can't, I just really can't do that. That's not my genre. I looked like a deer in the headlights. I can't, for some reason, that's not my thing. So I don't think I'm very good at that. Like, so, and I think it would probably come, I mean, if I was pressed to do it, I could probably pretend to be somebody else, but there's part of me that I don't know why that is. I can't do that kind of thing.
I think there's a certain kind of model that is in that mind frame, you know, like the page 3 in the UK, the Sam Fox, this glamorous kind of page 3 element and things, you know, and there are some models that kind of, that's what they do. It's just not, it's not me. It's not what I would book a model for and things really, but there's different genres in photography, isn't it? And we all need different models for different things with it, you know.
I'm terrible at that. So I wouldn't do that. And the other thing that I don't do is I don't really do like women on women when it's sexual. I don't feel comfortable with that. I have shot with women, but it's more delicate and friendship and loving rather than, you know, I don't like to trigger men by like a lesbian type of feel. I'm not into that.
Oh, cool. Back to our robots again, I think. Yeah, I love this shot.
Yeah, that's a cool shot. Yeah.
Whose idea was the red pants? Because that is genius, honestly.
That would have been me. Yeah.
It's genius.
The top says, I know you can't see it, but the top says, "I make boys cry." I'm wearing the top that says "I make boys cry," which is hilarious, but like you can't see it, obviously.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's great image and things, really. Our kind of last image is in the art gallery. This is, I've got to say up front, be careful if you go to an art gallery, you try and take photographs of a model, you could get in trouble or thrown out. So I'll just do that kind of precursor before the discussion. But it's a bit like better to shoot it without permission and get thrown out than it is to ask permission, never get the opportunity. So ninja shooting, I agree with to some extent.
Up and run.
Anyway,
yeah.
Whose idea was this?
Definitely not my idea. This was a shoot that I flunked on big time. So I wanted to include this shot on our selection today because I was not good at this at all. I'm a confident person, but this was very difficult. The reason why I found this hard is because we're not allowed to shoot there. And I'm not very good I'm a stickler to the rules. I'm not actually very good at breaking like official rules. So my photographer was, but I felt really uncomfortable. So that's why my pose here is quite tame, because I found this shoot really hard. So I wanted to include this one to prove the fact that sometimes you're not so confident. It's a cool picture, but my confidence was very low here. I felt naughty.
And for the wrong reasons. Elegance, that's absolutely wicked, love. Thank you so much for sharing your images and your experiences and everything else with it. For anybody who'd like to actually get in touch with Elegance or see more of her work, obviously, as I said, PurplePort / Elle model, or Elegance, you search under. And from there, you'll also see that there's a link to her Instagram page. It's a private Instagram page anyway, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah. All of my accounts are locked, and the reason being is because I only want to connect with people who are in the art industry. As you can probably imagine, people write to me quite a lot, and when my account was open, there would be a lot of messages from people, and after one thing, and it was boring, right? Sorry to say, but I just want to connect with people who understand what I'm doing from an artistic point of view. And you know, if I've taken some of my clothes off, like, not to lose control. I mean, it's art, in my opinion. So yeah, my accounts are locked because I just want to connect with artists who understand.
Very cool. And from there, in fact, it links off to your actress IMDb page as well with it and things, really. So very well done on that. Couple of questions before we finish. Right. What are your hopes and goals for the next phase of your kind of modeling or life kind of thing? Have you ever thought about picking up a camera yourself?
I have picked up a camera myself, yeah, and I've got one. My best friend, who's an excellent photographer, gave me one for my birthday, and I have, but I'm jealous. I'm too jealous. I can't be behind. If I'm like taking pictures of someone going, I'm jealous of you, like I want to be you, like. So yeah, at the moment, I need to get old and wrinkly and not acceptable, like in front of the camera. And then I'll go behind the camera. So one day maybe, but I'd like to do some more acting when my children are older. I would like to act way more. I really would like to open that door. Everything that I've done, all my university, everything that I've done to do with IMDb, I would like to act a lot more. I'd like to do more films again, but I can't. I had an agent 2 years ago, and I just couldn't accept any of his work. It was ridiculous. Like, it was pointless. Like I kept on having to say, can't do that, can't do that. It was stupid. So we let each other go because it was silly. But
oh dear. Well, I wish you all the luck with that. Right. So we're going to end on some quick fire questions.
oh God. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right.
You've got to
Okay. Right.
do it instantly though. Okay.
Let me have
Ready?
some coffee first. Okay. Hold on. Caffeine. Right. Let's go.
Ready? No umming or ahhing or anything now. Behave yourself. Okay. Studio or location shoot?
Location.
Classic black and white or vibrant color in the edit?
Vibrant color in the edit.
Solo shoot with a photographer or group collaborations?
Solo shoot.
Hardness or soft fabrics?
Soft fabrics.
Dressed or nude? You fell over.
Dressed.
Dressed. Good girl. If you could model anywhere in the world tomorrow, where would it be?
Greece.
What's the one thing you want to have done as a shoot?
Oh, I just did it yesterday, so like I don't know anymore. I'd have to think about that one. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
That's okay. Pose or animation?
Pose.
Yeah, that we're done.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Oh my God, yeah, because I did the balloons. Like I wanted to run over with some black balloons, and I literally did it yesterday. So like my lifelong dream is like sorted.
Very cool.
Oh yeah.
Elle, Elegance, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat, and I hope one of these days we'll get to shoot in some way together and things. Really, it'd be great to actually meet you. But thank you very, very much. Remember, everybody, if you'd like to get in touch with Elegance, then you can actually do that from her PurplePort page, from her Instagram page, and obviously from the IMDb as well with it and things. Really, thank you so much for your time, and I hope we'll get together soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.